we are here in Cooperstown, New York, getting ready to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So we had a lovely trip up, stopped right outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania, and decked out on all my Oriole gear. Probably the only one that'll be like that. But yeah, we're excited to get there. Cooperstown, New York. Population 1,926. So who would have ever thought that the National Baseball Hall of Fame would plant its roots here? The small, quiet town fits old-time baseball like a glove. Our national pastime nestled in the middle of a small American town that is the model of Middle America. Yes, we know the supposed significance of Cooperstown and Abner Doubleday, even to this day. Though the mythical figure and the town's place in history in the founding of the sport have been long debunked. To me, after this trip, there is still no better place to be the birth of baseball and the home of the national pastime than Cooperstown. If you were to probably live in Cooperstown, you'd probably wonder, do we really need this many baseball shops? There were so many souvenir baseball shops, a lot of the ones carrying the same things. But some also had great antiques, signed baseballs by Babe Ruth, a signed check by Babe Ruth, and baseball cards everywhere, even in the ice cream shop. So then we finally get to the building, right? And the building is smaller than you would probably think if you haven't seen a lot of pictures of it recently at all. It was just amazing to think we were actually there, and you just walk up. There's like no line. You just kind of walk up to the building, walk yourself in. Then we started going through the line, getting in, and then they suggested us starting on floor number 2. So we went up to floor number 2 and into the theater to see the short film Generations of the Game. This is a very up-to-date film showing interviews with Hall of Famers recently put in, and even showing clips up to the 2020 World Series. The screen is huge. It's perfectly clear. It doesn't seem to be a projector, but rather a large LED screen or LCD screen, whatever it was very impressive. It was stunning. Coming out of the theater, we are in the section with pictures of baseball through the ages. This section is called Picturing America's Pastime. These pictures are also very clear and in great quality. Some are as old as the late 1800s, but look as if they were taken today, or at least recently. This was a great exhibit. I couldn't believe that I was seeing all this in such clarity. Then we come out of Picturing America's Pastime and into Taking the Field, which is about the 19th century. It's all about baseball's beginning, starting from early stick and ball games, going all the way up to professional players. And we walk out into the baseball timeline, which is where we go from, professional baseball all the way up through a whole new ball game, which is the last 50 years. But on the way there are many other things to explore. One of the great exhibits is the Babe Ruth, His Life and Legend. This is the whole story of Babe Ruth. It's a little corner U-shape that you're able to kind of go around and check everything out there, Babe Ruth. We'll explore more of that when we get to another item on the bucket list, which is called the Babe Ruth Birthplace Museum in Baltimore. There's also a little Ideals and Injustices, a Chronicle of Black Baseball section to check out, which goes all the way from the pre-Negro Leagues era through the Negro Leagues and into integration with the Major League Baseball. Also along the way is Diamond Dreams Women in Baseball. This is an exhibit my wife spent a lot of time in. It's women in baseball, not just baseball players, but everything. It even had a hat, construction hard hat of the woman who had designed Camden Yards, which was very near to my heart as an Oriole fan. It also has Little League baseball players that are girls. It has about the All-American Girl Professional Baseball League. It just has so many great things on and off the field about women in baseball. It's a fantastic exhibit. I definitely recommend you checking it out. Then we go back into the baseball timeline, into Viva Baseball. This is all about the history of Latin America and the story of Latino players. And it is a bilingual English and Spanish exhibit that you're able to check out. It has some of my favorite pieces in this, one of them being the Cuban Havana game, where the Orioles played in Cuba, in Havana, against Havana, and it has a lineup card, and it also has a ball used from there. And I remember that game either being on TV or seeing highlights from it, it being a big deal back in 1999. As you walk out of Viva Baseball, you're back to Whole New Game. This is where the second floor ends. It's all about the last 50 years of the game, and there's lots of stuff in here. We even have this little Spider-Man comic as well, where he teams up with some Montreal Expos, which is really cool. And has things all the way up to, these no-hitters that had taken place in 2021. These are all of the balls from the no-hitters here. And then we also have, Shohei Ohtani's bat. We even have the SpongeBob shirt for Larry Walker getting announced into the Hall of Fame. So just fun, tons of fun little things in this exhibit. So much to take pictures or share every single picture. We cannot share every single picture. And then you're back out into the Grand Atrium as you work your way up to the third floor. But we took a stop and ate some lunch at Doubleday Cafe. Once we are back from lunch, we go up to the third floor, which starts with Sacred Ground, all about ballparks that are no longer around and how the current trend, starting with Camden Yards, to make some retro ballparks but modernize them into these beautiful ballparks that have sprung up everywhere in America. So this was a really fun exhibit as well. It even has this fun little game here where you can press buttons and see what song plays during the seventh inning stretch at different ballparks. Next, we have the Hank Aaron Gallery of Records exhibit called Chasing the Dream. This is all about Hank Aaron's baseball career, leading up to the home run record that he had for quite some time. which is fitting. Then it goes straight from this into One for the Books, which is all about baseball's records, milestones, and kind of goes in depth with all of those. And they have so many, even obscure records. Just a whole bunch of fun to see this and everything they have. And unfortunately, I had to take a picture of this baseball from a record-setting game for the Orioles that did not go the way we would have wanted as an Oriole fan. 30-3, Rangers win. Most runs scored. Not great. Leading from One for the Books, we go into Autumn Glory, which is a postseason celebration, and this has some of the best stuff. It is a very small section, but it has almost every single postseason trophy for the individual players. And what I mean by that is how we have World Series rings. They didn't start as rings. You can see in this video here, they actually started sometimes like pocket watches, or I'm not sure what some of this stuff is. I guess like clips or whatever. But yeah, so it started off as that, and then it goes into rings, and the rings start very small, and as we'll see, get much larger. And then they even have a whole little section of the wall here that's just all about the 2020 World Series with the Dodgers and the Rays, that the Dodgers came out on top. Then there's a wall over here that has a whole bunch of other World Series memorabilia. So yeah, they have this World Series trophy, an A's jersey from it, Rick Dempsey's hat from '83, some bats, a Phillies hat from Roy Halladay, a Cubs jersey from the 2016, a whole bunch of great stuff in this video, in this display. We then come out of Autumn Glory and into Shoebox Treasures, which is all about baseball cards, starting from the very earliest baseball cards that were in like cigarette packs, all the way up to the most recent cards. But there's some fun little areas here. One of them is a section called The Baseball Cards Your Mom Threw Away. And here's me going through and just looking at all of these. Then as you make your way through that hallway, there is another section that is about like the top 8 baseball cards, the ones that are the big fish of value. And they have this little button where you press it and the light comes on, as you can see here. So in this Shoebox Treasure section, there is also a little green screen that you're able to take your picture in front of and make your own baseball cards. Here's a video showing how to do it. That's a little better, I guess. And then we come through to your team today. In your team today, these are all about your team today. There's lockers for each team, and it has so many artifacts for each team. And then they have a new inductees section, which for me this year was, Larry Walker, Derek Jeter, getting into the Hall of Fame for 2020. The celebration is on September 8th, the induction. I was there in middle of August, so they were not fully integrated with the rest of the things, so they were right here. Then we're back to the Grand Atrium, and we go all the way down to the first floor. As you come down the steps, there is the Art of Baseball exhibit, which just has so much stunning art based around baseball. There's even this great Casey Stengel sculpture, which is awesome. Christy Mathewson has a few things here as well based around him. So just some really fun stuff here. As we walk down the stairs, and we turn left and get to the plaque gallery. I took videos of each plaque, little section that was put in by year. It's just a lot of fun stuff to look at here. All of the plaques. You don't have time to really, by the time we got to this point, we only had an hour or so left of the day. So we couldn't sit here and study every single one of these. So I made sure I took plenty of videos, plenty of pictures to be able to look at this stuff after the fact. This is one of my favorite things. The first class here, where you see Christy Mathewson, Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Babe Ruth, and Walter Johnson, which has got to be one of the best first class in Hall of Fame history of any sport, which just has so many great people there. I also took pictures with every single Oriole that went in as an Oriole, which was a fun time for me. Leaving the plaque gallery, we were able to go to the library building, which has things like Scribes and Mike Men, which is all about the broadcasters and writers for baseball, and Baseball at the Movies, which is all about baseball in movies. And walked around to the sculpture garden, which you see here. This sculpture garden is just stunning. I really like this. I didn't know this was actually here until we were walking around the library building, seeing those, and I said, we have to go out there and look at these sculptures. So that pretty much wraps up my trip. Now, what we're going to be doing here, since this is our first time on the bucket list, is when it comes to stadiums, I have this great thing here where you scratch off baseball stadiums. So as we unlock stadiums, as I go, throughout my journey of my bucket list, I will go ahead and scratch this off during the video. But since this is not on there, the plan is to, I guess, mark it off on screen, just saying that we've done this. But originally this was setting out to be a goal for all 30 stadiums. But one of the things I got there was this baseball travel map. This is in the gift shop, by the way, $10, worth it. And it has a whole map of America here. And then on the back, it tells you what those things were, if you want more information on it. And it's by baseballmaps.com. I haven't been to their site, but maybe they have stuff on there that I'll have to look at. But I'm expanding the bucket list, and why it's called the bucket list and not like a stadium list now is because I'm trying to mark off tons of other things. I have a list here of some of the places I want to go, and we're going to mark these off. I'm going to make videos about each one, and we're just going to have a good time going through this stuff. So at every single place I've been going, stadium-wise, I've been getting a magnet. I didn't start this right away. So you'll see one of them I actually had to buy on eBay. But starting when I went to, starting this year when I decided this is what I'm going to get at each place, I've been getting a magnet. And this is the magnet I got for the Hall of Fame. So this is going to go up on the fridge. So I'm really excited about that. And you'll see me share all my magnets in the videos as well. But there we go. Got the Hall of Fame magnet. So that'll go up. And we've done it. The Hall of Fame is done. Just a few things I want to say as well. This was one of the best trips I've ever taken. It was a lot of fun. It was, only a 4-hour drive for me, 5-hour drive for me. So it wasn't too long of a trip. But even if it's a long trip for you, I definitely recommend taking it if you're a baseball fan. This is a really good trip. My wife, who's not even a baseball fan, she really had a lot more fun than she thought she would. So I definitely recommend going. And I definitely recommend going if you have kids, taking your kids. There's lots of kids there that are very excited about everything. And I am a history major. I'm also a baseball fan, so this worked out very well for me. I love museums. I love a lot of the historical stuff here. The baseball timeline was really fun to see. It's hard to say, what's the best thing you saw here, because there was just so many good things. But it's definitely a different experience, and I hope everybody gets a chance to go if they want. But thank you for watching along, and I do have some of these coming through the pipe of stadiums I've already been to that I'm going to be making some of these for, and stadiums that are coming up this year. So like and subscribe if you want to see more.